I've been quiet for 2 months. The Kenyans have been listening to only want one thing. How do we get him out before the term? This is not even about 2027 or CG 2027. People are asking, how do we get him out before the term? We have drawn up a script following the constitution of this land, Article 1, 2, and 3. That will bring an election before 2027.
Here I come. Oh, here I come. Oh.
Now, Friday's High Court ruling that ended Kenya Kwanza's 2-year-long honeymoon as the majority side in the National Assembly is now heightening calls by anti-Ruto politicians to eject the president from State House even before his 5-year term ends in 2027 through an impeachment. NTV's Ibrahim Karanja begins our broadcast tonight.
If we were to define music to one's ears, it would be Friday's ruling by the High Court that dented Kenya Kwanza by declaring opposition Azimio la Umoja, One Kenya Coalition as a majority party in the National Assembly, and the joy it is eliciting from a section of opposition politicians who are anti-President William Ruto. Siaya Governor James Orengo, a confidant of former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, is seeing one way of using this newfound win, sending Ruto packing from State House, sentiments supported by businessman come politician Jimi Wanjigi.
How wakisema wako majority? Let me even tell you, hata those MPs of Mount Kenya ambao wamebaki na yeye, unajua they cannot go home. They are finished in Mount Kenya. They will join you to impeach this man to get new life for their siasa. If they do not impeach him by March, hawa melala.
The country is so angry, and the elections may not matter. I am telling you, and I believe it. The country is so angry that when I hear people talking about the elections, I feel very annoyed, because we are going to get it all wrong again. Right now, the High Court made a very important ruling, saying that Kenya Kwanza is not the majority party. The majority party in parliament is Azimio. What are we going to do about it? Are we going to again sit on the table and make a deal? What the court said, the High Court said yesterday, is a confirmation that the election results that were announced in the last elections were not correct. That is the confirmation.
According to Orengo, waiting for the 2027 elections to unseat Ruto may be a pipe dream, which he terms as another mistake they must not make.
I'm asking my party audience, don't lose this thing that the High Court of Kenya has said, that Azimio is the majority party. Don't leave it, because instead of sitting on the table with whoever is in power, the court is giving you what belongs to you. Why are we giving up? Why is Kenya giving up?
The can of worms opened by the 3-judge bench of the High Court on Friday will definitely cause William Ruto's ruling coalition sleepless nights. It remains to be seen if Ruto's newfound buddy Raila Odinga will make an about turn and seize the National Assembly majority afforded to Azimio by the court, or will the president relinquish the majority seat in the House without putting up a fight in the spirit of the broad-based government and the cooperation pact?
And I want to address William Samoei Ruto here. The courts today have upheld the constitution of this country. And you seem to be trying to live in an era that has long passed. William Ruto, why do you fear me? If you fear me, be a man. Come and deal with me properly. Kiwanjani ya siasa. Not in my home, terrorizing my family, and not in these courts with trumped up charges. You are afraid that we are redefining the politics of this nation. We are moving away from a myopic tribe and region. Your useless kutenga and lies. We have now moved to the realm of the truth and issue-oriented politics, based primarily today on the economy of Kenya. Debate me on the economy. Don't try and create criminality in your muck. I'm not going to join your pigsty. It is a pigsty. William Ruto, no, today I am coming for you because I believe Ruto must go.
Some 3-4 months ago, there was this guy called Jimi Wanjigi. A guy with very brilliant idea on how we can develop this country. By the way, if you want to know how Kenya can go ahead, go and watch his interviews in Spice and everywhere. He has very brilliant ideas. Yeah, he was even Kibaki advisor. Then you bring Jimi Wanjigi on the table. You tell them you don't want tribal chiefs. Yeah, here is a person called Jimi Wanjigi.
You asked me an earlier question. Why would they kill you? In this incident of William Ruto, I'd like to come here. I want you to understand there are two pillars of any government. There's the pillar of guns, and even the MOU I did with them was based on that. The pillar of guns and the pillar of money. Without those, a government cannot operate. All right? Those are the two pillars. A gun to protect people, to protect them, to protect money, and money to buy those guns. That is the essence of any government anywhere. I do not have guns. I am not a militia. I'm not trying to overthrow the government of Kenya.
But yet you say they're threatened by you.
Yes, because I've gone after the money. I have been talking money for the last 2 years. I'm going after the other pillar because they have broken the constitution of this land on the pillar of money. And it is amazing what has happened the last 12 or so years, and especially now being perpetuated by this regime. The illegalities to this sacred book called the Constitution are phenomenal. Phenomenal. So gone after the money. And all we've done by going after the money is first and foremost educating the people, telling them what their real problem is. Their problem is not the small numbers, and I call them small numbers in relation to the grand theft of the little corruption things we are seeing in governance.
Do you support the Gen Z letter?
101%. 101%. I support them. I support what they are doing. I think along the way, if you go through some of my clips from September, October last year, I've been saying it's going to happen. It was bound to happen because Kenyans are in pain. I support them 100%. It's in the Constitution. It's their democratic right. And yes, I have supported them financially. I gave them money when they were in bond. I have supported the supply of flags and water and all those things. Why not? I'm sure I'm not the only Kenyan who did it, right? Because it's not against the law, right? I don't think they asked for any other support. I think people are looking for ghosts here.
If you were president today, what would be the 1, 2, 3 things that you would do to solve the crisis in the country?
I'll tell you. The first thing is that I would cut off the chain of debt. Because I want you to understand that in as much as all this is going on, I told you we only had a deficit of 1.3. Kenyans, up until today, have paid 9.8 trillion towards that debt and still owe 11 trillion. It is something I would cut off like yesterday. And that frees up government money to be able to provide services to Kenyans and stimulate the economy by taking money back to the people. And that is what you call now economic liberation. The one thing that has not been understood by many people up until today is what period we're in. We went through the political rights period, which is about cutting up this cake for seats, as they are trying to do now. Nobody cares about it because we passed it. The 2010 Constitution gave us our rights. Now we are into the economic rights period, where we define economic models about the bakers of the cake. I, for example, am a capitalist who believes in the essence of social democracy, social justice. Okay? And I must create my model. This is the defining moment of ideological economy, ideological politics. I myself will be very interested to see the private sector be the driver. So I'll never take their money. I don't need it.
Do you think people will take Jimi Wanjigi seriously, and what is the future if these talks continue from Jimi Wanjigi to Okiya Mtata about, look,
I jokingly told Jimi Wanjigi after the show, you should brief your security. Yeah, I mean, I didn't mean, but it is serious that he's opening a box that nobody has ever opened. People are beginning to question things they will never have questioned. The truth in this country, and I think many other countries, is you cannot clearly show me the monies you have collected, and worse still, you cannot show me what the money has done. Every year we budget, we put money on roads, we put billions in infrastructure. But sometimes, even before the tendering process is over for those projects, the year has ended. We never even get to know where the money goes. I'm talking like a layman. Maybe you can say you are carrying over. And if you are carrying over, why will you allocate another 200 billion?
Nilisema mimi ni mtu ya vitendo. Na mimi ni mtu ya biashara. Anataka watu wafaidike kwa biashara. Wachana na hii makazi ya serikali. Najua rafiki yangu alisema bottom up, mimi naona tu ni watu juu ambao wanapata kazi. Mimi sioni watu bottom wanapata kazi. Wachana na hiyo maneno. Kama ni shares unataka kupurchase, nionyeshe gate ya shares kwa hii stock market. Unajua pesa, ukiwa na pesa ndio the ultimate freedom. Kweli ama si kweli? Ukiwa na hela, mambo sawa. Kuna mtu anakutisha.
The lake region and the mountain, when they join up, the entire country benefits. That's how we got independence. We are now in what we call the third phase of our history, and that is the economic liberation. The economic saviors and warriors are going to come from the lake, and they are going to come from the mountain. And the rest of the country is going to join in. That is how we are going to do this. And you shall see the fire that is going to sweep this country. It will be amazing. The future is looking amazingly bright. I'm very confident of it. The problems in this country are so deep. It will be doctors today, it will be teachers tomorrow, it will be the entire civil service the day after. The problems we have here are problems of the economy of Kenya. And William Ruto is unable to solve this problem.
Ruto was corrupt. We were told by Raila Amolo Odinga. Ruto was a thief. We were told by Raila Amolo Odinga. Ruto was not fit for presidency. We were told by Raila Amolo Odinga. What has changed? Wewe uliposikia kwamba he was not fit to be president, what has changed? Nataka mtu asimame hapa ni challenge. What has changed about Ruto for the ODM fraternity to support him? That is what I'm waiting for. But if nothing has changed for sure, for fact, and you are supporting Ruto because Raila supported him, there is something wrong with your brain. Tuko na wizara ya pesa. Wewe hapo mahali umesimama uko na pesa kwa mfuko wako. Pesa inalala kwa samaki, nimesikia wanasifu. Wewe uko na pesa. I want to tell you for a fact. Hii kura inaokuja, jipigie wewe mwenyewe. Ikiwa kwamba utapiga kura kwa ajili ya kabila lako, kwa ajili ya chama, nitawauliza swali. Wewe ambao umeishi hapa Mombasa for the last 15 years, uongozi wa Mombasa imekweko ya ODM. Imekufaidi nini? When you are voting on party line, tribal line, ni nini yako iko hapo?
My name is Jimi Wanjigi, and I want to be your president. I don't think I need to say anything else.
Yes.
That's it.
Why do you want to be our president?
Because I can change this country for the better. Mm-hmm. In totality. I'm what you call a change agent. Those people that just dramatically change the way something is done. Uh-huh. And we have the ethos for it. We know what to do. We know how to do it. And we have clarity about the future greatness of this nation.
Yeah.
That's why.
That's why. As simple as such.
Very simple.
By educating a new crop of voters who will vote on the basis of manifestos. I want to hear somebody telling me if it is the health sector, if it is university education, if it is agriculture, how are you going to deal with it? And I have given this example ad nauseum. When you go into a plane, you are flying from Nairobi to Mombasa. Do you ever ask, what is the tribe of the pilot? You don't care. You simply want a competent pilot.
Pilot, yes.
But when we want our nation to be piloted, we then ask which tribe. So we must make a deliberate, see our neighborhood in Tanzania. How is it that a country with over 136 ethnicities, they have succeeded in ensuring that the tribe does not matter in national political discourse? It can't be done.
Mandamano is a right in the constitution and it must always be adhered to. So of course I support Mandamano. Any day, even if people want to do Mandamano every day, they can do it. Oh, absolutely. I think everybody is. We all live and breathe in this country. So whether you are talking about your own personal expenses, that of people who work for me, for example, because everyone comes pleading for more money, everything is going up. I have been approached by various people, lawyers, NGOs, civil society, and so on, who want to go to court. So I know they are organizing themselves. I know they have got a battery of lawyers that are going to court, and I think you'll see it very soon. He's my friend. He has been my friend for a long time. As president, we have not engaged because I have taken a very independent stand in my politics. And I have been giving him a time to settle. I think that time has now come to an end. So I am against what they are doing economically.
If you don't know who this man is, I also didn't know who he was, okay? But sit tight because you want to know. This is Jacob Juma, okay? He was a businessman in Kenya. He died on 6th May 2016. And by that, during this time, we were experiencing a lot of floods in Kenya. But besides the point, he was assassinated. And let's get into it. He was not afraid of condemning corruption. In fact, he openly talked about it on social media platforms. Now, with everything going on in Kenya right now, his tweets resurfaced. But when I tell you this man was accurate, to the point that people actually think he's a prophet or he's still alive. Fellow Kenyans, please, please, please don't ever listen to William Ruto. He's a fraudster. He lies with severe impunity. This is 2015. Kenya's corrupt government thugs have excessive appetite for luxury cars, houses, suits, and other toys. It's not hard to find them and apprehend them. Kenyans who believe whatever William Ruto says must be sick. Ruto is a liar, thug, thief, and a hypocrite. They should tread carefully. 2016. The assassin's tactic is a familiar script. They first demonize your name to sway public opinion against you, then they pounce and kill you. Fellow Kenyans, just imagine William Ruto being Kenya's president. The country will burn. He's arrogant, abusive, coercive, and a grabber. 2015. Safaricom is a huge financial institution that has too much political power over our nation. It poses a systemic risk to our democracy. William Ruto will never escape justice. If he escapes ICC jail, he will not escape my pursuit. And if he does manage, God will deal with him. We should ban the houses of the corrupt, vehicles, companies, and anything that has brought using proceedings from corruption. 2015. Mind you, this is July. Oh my God. All accurate, all here. Why can't right-thinking Kenyans organize a people's revolution and throw these gluttons from power? We should act now before Kenya collapses. Oh my God. Kenyan youth should look at corruption as a national disaster that affects their quality of life, directly forgo tribalism and fight it. And he then mysteriously died on Gong Road in a pool of blood. And this is not to say that he was innocent. Apparently, he also had his schemes. But everything he said is coming to pass. Like, that is insane.
What are your thoughts around this broad-based government and, the defense of it by those in it?
You see, this is not a script that is unusual. If you look at any of these episodes anywhere in the world where there's been an uprising of the people, the first thing a government in power does is to make a unity government, try and bring all the political leaders into one ship. Now, we had predicted some of this, but we had predicted it before the uprising. That before an uprising, because of things like debt default, William Ruto will want everybody to be in his sinking ship so that the masses do not have an alternative voice. He's just invited people into a sinking ship. We were already united, and we are united in pain, economic pain. I haven't heard anyone, including himself, anyone talk about how they are solving our economic pain. Hakuna. Hakuna. So please, we are still united in that economic pain, right? They can do what they want up there. But I can assure you, they are in a sinking ship and Kenyans will not join them. Kenyans will not join them. They'll sink themselves. I haven't heard anyone, including himself, anyone, talk about how they are solving our economic pain. Hakuna. Hakuna. So please, we are still united in that economic pain, right? They can do what they want up there.
Aliua ng'ombe ya Pokot? Nani aliua wa Pokot? Nani alisema shoot to kill? Nani aliua wa Pokot? Nani ameiba pesa ya Kenya? Nani aliua Jacob Juma? Nani ameua Wakenya wengi? Nani mwizi number 1? Alafu
for the whole of Kitale, the Luyas, the Kisis, many of the Kalenjin subtribes who are there today will have to move out because that land ancestrally belonged to the Pokot, the Cherangani, the Sengwer, and the Sabaot.
Oh, but that's a little extreme, Weshimiwa.
It is not extreme, it is in the Constitution. I will challenge you to go and read it. That's it. Who lived where?
Ruto is going to jail.
Certain.
He will not escape it. He will not escape it. It may not happen today, but within 10 years, Ruto will be in jail. Yeah.
Based on everything that we've seen.
What is happening now and plus what he has done in the past. You know, there are footprints where we are. There are footprints where we are. It's not just by accident that we have got a government made of thieves for thieves by thieves. But the people are now beginning to ask, from 1963, what went wrong? Why did the rain begin beating us? That's the question Gen Z is asking. Why can't we have good governance? How come some people can live so large while others have nothing? And the same people who are living large are not inventors, are not known for any enterprise, they don't own any company or anything. They're just politicians or civil servants. They are surviving on our taxes. How come? That some of them are even now richer than the country in terms of balance sheet.
And I can tell you one thing. If we can only export our politicians, if there is a country that would like and has a deficit of politicians, we just give them one shipload of our politicians. This country could be the greatest country on earth.
There is a huge difference between leaders and politicians. Politicians are liars. Leaders tell the truth. Politicians beg people to get them into office. Leaders are begged by people to enter into office. Politicians worry about the next election. Leaders worry about the progress and the vision of the country. Politicians measure success by material gain that they got from stealing from the public, of course. Leaders measure success by the progress of the country. Politicians are populist in their developmental plans. Leaders do the right thing. Even when people don't see the point presently, they'll see it in the future. Politicians hire people who are incompetent. Politicians hire people who are useless. Politicians surround themselves with people who, with yes men for self-aggrandizement. But leaders surround themselves with people who are even more intelligent than him or her. Leaders surround themselves with people who are even more competent than him or her. Leaders surround themselves with people who are willing to challenge the leader. That's the difference between a politician and a leader. In short, what I'm trying to say is that we have many politicians. We have little to no leaders. We should strive, we as the African race should strive for leadership over politicians. Leadership over politics, and I think that should be the mantra. That should be the hashtag, leadership over politics. I'd rather take a poor politician who happens to be a good leader than a good politician who happens to be a poor leader.
We have gone through the trenches with you. You know when governments are in power, how they behave. I think probably you can give people on the other side a little education. That sometimes revolutions eat their own children. Yes. Government eats their own people. This government is going to punish you more than they will punish me. I'm telling you, in another 1 year, you will be crying in my office to come and represent you. I know, I can tell you. I've appeared for President Kibaki when he was in the opposition about laws which were made here. I've appeared for President Uhuru and Vice President Ruto when Kanu was going away. When Kibaki was taking away his members and making them ministers, I went to court on their behalf. But now that they're in power, they are forgetting. And power, when power gets into your head, I can tell you, you will never remember that one day there's a bigger power, almighty, that will deal with me. I can never be intimidated in my political life. I can never be intimidated. Because I've seen many people come and go. I've seen many powerful people come and go. I've seen presidents come here and go. I have seen people who, on their word, you would leave this house and you'll be locked in the same day. They have come and gone. When something is wrong, you say it is wrong. You say it is wrong. You say it is wrong. I say this. This country has come from very far. And I want to ask our colleagues in Parliament, the time to be vigilant is now. This country can go to the dogs, easily, easily.
Orengo.
You better swim in the open sea with a fish than fight in the mud with swines. We are being made dirty by swines. Because we have sacrificed. And I want to plead with your people. Joluo, we have an identity. We have an identity. If you lose that identity for any easy victories, we are going to pay for it in future. Our loss of identity should never arise. And if we make compromises, there must be compromises that are justifiable before God and before justice, considerations of justice. Constitutions are never suspended. The law can never be suspended. You must always live by the dictates of the Constitution. If you suspend them, you may be happy now, but in the future, you regret. When Hitler formed his first government, it was a coalition. And that coalition died. Those parties completely died. So what I pray for, is that the party called ODM, you can stand any storm. And even if you make compromises, you must make compromises on matters of principle. Not be part of praise and worship. We must stand firm. We must stand firm. We must stand firm. Even now in my chambers, I don't go to courts anymore. If I can tell you how many people come and say, can you go to court again? My little son, my little daughter was abducted. Kenya is crying. Kenya is crying that we must stop abductions. We must stop extrajudicial killing so that we can build a truly democratic republic. The word republic has a meaning which we can talk about another day. So on my part, I want my conscience to be clear. I want my conscience to be clear that when there were abductions, at least in a public place, I said no to abductions. And I'm saying this because Rosalind, this December, not 3 years ago, not 4 years ago, this December, she was telling the Republic of Kenya, the Government Republic of Kenya, stop abductions, stop extrajudicial killing. And when she did that, they took away the money for the commission. Workers could not be paid, they could not carry out their work, and that is very normal in government. When there's too much sycophancy, people lose sight of the fundamentals.
James Orengo argues that joining President Ruto will be suicidal.
I'm saying, me as James Agre Orengo, putting aside even my position as a governor, that justice must be done. We cannot kill our people. And the time when we are mourning them, we are looking for officers. That cannot happen. We must first deal with injustice before we can deal with questions that arise out of that injustice. Joining Ruto is a disaster, is an abomination. It cannot work. When we say Ruto must go with all his people. And the entire government must go. Nobody is going to remain there. And I want to say, those who are in a rush to join Ruto, that Ruto is a passing cloud. I am saying that without a fear of contradiction. Because Ruto now has no money. Because he's been borrowing. And the Kenyans have told him, you cannot borrow. Ruto has said no taxation. But he said he has continued to taxation. And he refused taxation through the finance bill. So he cannot tax Kenyans. Ruto has lost the confidence of the international community. So, where is Ruto going to take us? Ruto is taking us into a sinking ship. And I'm urging everybody that joining Ruto is a disaster, is an abomination. It cannot work. And nobody is going to tell us. Then when you are saying Ruto must go, when we say Ruto must go with all his people. And the entire government must go. Nobody is going to remain there. These gentlemen, these young men, they are serious more than any other generation. They are more serious than any other generation. They have done something we have not done as leaders. Within 14 days, cabinet yote meenda. Within 15 days, IG imeenda. Sasa mimi naomba hivi viongozi wetu tujaribu kuongea na vijana. Kama kuna dialogue, tuanze dialogue na Gen Z kwanza. Tujue wanataka nini na mweleko yao ni nini kabla kwenda kule katika ikulu. Mimi tumekuwa na Wajakoya leo kila mahali tunaenda. Na unajua Wajakoya mtu anamuona akiona yeye Wajakoya wanapita. Wakasema hao kama watu wa Western wataka ukweli ifanyike. Mimi nataka niombe ya kwamba tuone ya kwamba ukweli umefanyike. I am begging us to dialogue with the thief. To dialogue with the thief. To dialogue with the thief. You must ask yourself some very serious questions. To dialogue with somebody who is killing our people. Unajua leo karibu watu 11 wamepatikana kule Embakasi, na kuna wengine bado wako pale, bado wanatolewa. Kule Makueni pia kuna watu wamepatikana katika kori. Walikuwa wanasema hapo mbeleni watu walikuwa wanawekwa kwa Rivayala, kumbe sasa ni kori ndio wanapeleka watu. Huko Siaya nina watu bado wako kwa mochari ambao walipigwa marisasi. Na Kalonzo Musyoka ulikwenda pale mochari ya Nairobi, kulikuwa kijana moja amepigwa risasi. Hii kichwa yote, ubongo yote imetolewa kabisa, hakuna hata pua huwezi kuona. So let us think about our people first. Let us think about these boys first. Think about Gen Z first, and then we can begin to talk about where we want to take Kenya. Kwa hivyo mimi naomba ya kwamba ile karamu ya Ruto, that is a poison chalice. Ruto knows where the people of Kenya want him to go. They know where they want Ruto to go. We talking to Ruto. This is the last word I want to say. Talking to Ruto is to assure his survival. Ruto is the one who is going to gain, because he'll be in power until 2027. Lakini Gen Z wametuonyesha kwamba with Gen Z we don't have to wait until 2027. Wangapi wanasema Ruto must go, Ruto must go, Ruto must go.
Wewe haupendi hii chama, fungua chama yako, omba kura. Lakini kama sitaki chama yako, utanilazimisha mimi. Mwingine alikuwa anasema Buzeki, tunakupea mpaka Disemba ukuje UDA. Mimi UDA hawajaniuzia sera ile imeniguza kichwa, na nimesikia vile wamesema sera yao haingiani na mimi, na mimi siwezi ingia UDA. Kwa hivyo hata usinilazimishe. You know, and I'm being sincere. Mimi nataka Wakenya wote wapone. If they had agendas that will serve Kenyans and will bring change, I will support them with my eyes closed.
Yes, that is it. When the time comes and we'll separate the wheat from the chaff, for Honorable Kagiri, she has been served a notice by the people of Laikipia. In fact, there's a time during the finance bill that her office was raided by her own constituents. Because what
are you in this country?
Problem, what's the problem?
That.
What's the office was
it's
here on social media.
It was never raided.
The office in Laikipia, people are there. But that's your office. Yeah. That was your office.
And
was
you
raided.
have a right. It's
but
a
the point
office,
is this.
media.
The point I'm making is this. And at that time, the same Mheshimiwa was telling us that give the administration time. I mean, this time that they've been telling us to give them, it was 90 days, give us 6 months, give us 1 year. We are now in the middle of the term, give us another. They'll never do anything. Because what they're even trying to articulate as the issue they've done, they are not even addressing the problem of the nation today. The problem of this country today, as exemplified by the Gen Z demonstration, is the economy. And the finance bill was just but a trigger. It was the one moment that the Kenyan people came together and they had a trigger to say, we are frustrated with the economic developments of this nation. We are broke, we don't have money, we are poor, we have no opportunities. But when we watch what the leadership is doing, we are seeing Balenciaga, we are seeing Gucci, we are seeing choppers, we are seeing high-end vehicles, but they keep coming to raid our pockets, which have nothing anyway. So you can talk all you want, but it's your right to think that we are in Disneyland and Kenya is so beautiful and everything is working. That is your right. It is your right to be wrong. It is also the right of the people of Kenya and myself to say you have actually failed and your economic policies have failed the people of Kenya. And the date with destiny is coming. And that destiny may come even earlier than 2027, if you ask me. Because the rate at which you are going, you keep messing the economy, and I don't know how long the people of Kenya will take it. You said you'll never increase taxes. William Ruto himself said that. Now it's taxation increased every day. Charges, levies, and taxes are increased every day. I guarantee you, even this year, this financial year, these members of parliament are going to come up with a finance bill that is going to increase taxes on the Kenyan people. And yet, there is no significant economic growth. There are no opportunities available to the people of Kenya that you can say, we've increased our earning capacity. The economy has grown in this way that I have now more money in my pocket. If anything, majority of Kenyans will tell you we have far much less money in our pockets than we had last year. But what is guaranteed is that government is demanding of us more money in taxation, charges, and levies.
And this is one thing this whole country is united about. Yeah? The pain of our economy. Whether one describes it as taxation or mafuta, okay, or high cost of living, right, or debt, or inflation, or whatever it is the pain or unemployment, because that is now a very big factor. Closing factories is another big factor.
Yeah.
It is the pain we are united about this economy, and the lack of clarity of solving the problem. I saw the president yesterday in Mombasa say that sometimes you don't meet your promises as quickly as you would like. That you make promises, and when you get there, you can't quite meet the targets in the time that is expected. Now, that can only be somebody who has not done his homework, his or her homework. Because, like a CEO in any company, this is CEO of Kenya. And CEO of Kenya cannot pretend that they've not done their homework about the state of the nation before you open your mouth and make promises. That then becomes what you call politics bonoko. Politics bonoko. And that is what we have clearly seen. City, you're making a face.
Yes, I'm wondering, bonoko, what language is this?
Bonoko is Sheng.
Okay.
You don't know it?
Bro, I have absolutely no idea who bonoko is.
Bonoko is fake. The connotation is fake. This is fake politics. You seduce the public, dangling carrots that you know you will never deliver. And that is the situation we are in.
For Kenya to change, Kenya is not going to be changed by leaders. Kenya is going to be changed by entrepreneurs, economically speaking. The leader can only do policies. After policies, when I do a good policy about agriculture, I cannot go and do agriculture as a leader. I am doing it for the people. When we are doing policies around finance, around tech, it is not me as a leader who should benefit. The benefit is for the people. We must make this attractive. As leaders, our goal must not be to win an election. Our goal must be how to govern. And how to govern is from an MCA seat to any other seat, because it is through out of that decision making that governance helps. Winning an election is easy. You can do good speeches, you can promise anything. We must be focused on studying on what would change our countries and then domicile our ideologies.
Your DA party has been run like a family kiosk. You withdraw 20 million every month, you divide among family members and some fellows within your DA. Please, mukure hiyo pesa pole pole na muachane na sisi.
I wake up, I pray. Last thing I googled, last night, I think it was about something called a souk bond.
What are you saying? What is he saying?
Well, that's a good question. You tell me. Oh, is that what they assume? I don't know. I think that's relative. To me, I'm not filthy rich, so I say from their mouth to God's ears. Maybe my love for music. I love music.
What kind of music?
All sorts of music. But I really love music.
What are you currently listening to?
I'm a piano. Oh, my cross. I have a cross I was given with my wife when we got married, and I've held it here on my chest all my life. I mean, ever since we got married. So, my cross. Have hope. Have so much hope. The African must be proud of who we are. Okay?
Today, the president is ashamed to meet people, to face people, cannot face people. You imagine that you have the whole Christian fraternity and the Muslims call a president a liar. His mouth has been taken away. William Samoei Ruto had 4 pillars to his regime. One was the church. The second were the people and parliamentarians. The third, I can assure you, was he had a narrative that he could market to people. He had a narrative. And the fourth was he had a lady called Meg Whitman, who decided she's going to fly his flag no matter how high. Those 4 pillars have gone. Parliament was cancelled. The people that were so-called with him, right? I can assure you that more than half of the vote that he got is out. His mouth has been taken away. His tongue taken away. His narrative taken away. He's called a liar. A head of state being called a liar by those who are the vanguards of our ethics called the church. He has nothing more to offer. Nothing more. Kenyans have given up on the man. He is no light. There is no future in this man and his regime. And in fact, every day that we sit back, let us accept there is no hope as long as he's sitting there. None at all. And in fact, the Kenyans have been quiet for 2 months. The Kenyans have been listening to only want one thing. How do we get him out before the term? This is not even about 2027 or Sijui 2027. People are asking, how do we get him out before the term?
What is the narrative that is now being fomented in government? It is a narrative of regionalism, that this region is a problem in this government. This region, this tribe is the one giving this government problems. But they're hiding their heads in the sand because the problem is not a region. And young people are not interested. They know very well that a Kikuyu young man and a Luo young man are not enemies at all. And when now the young people have discovered this, the political class is running helter-skelter.
And then are you proud? Because if you look at what you have described here, it's hardly a proud record. And you are a member of that political class in the country at the moment.
Yes.
How then do you run away from the very same problems that you have helped create, which has led to divisions in this country, and the sudden resurgence and the realization by the young people that it's you, the political class, who are leading this country to the abyss and on cliff edge?
Indeed, I can tell you I am extremely embarrassed myself to actually be part of this political class, because what is happening in the political class today, I can tell you, is nothing than a circus. And personally, I have had my point of reflection, especially from what happened on 25th of June. We were trapped somewhere in an upper floor space with my brother here, even though him being the chairman of security, one of the security dockets in this country and in the parliament, with the majority leader in the Senate, we were with them there, and I hoped when they were trying to get safety, they would also advise me on how to go with them. They abandoned me there, and both of them hid and left me there alone. And of course, that's when a lot of things rang in my mind, that John, you're on your own in this.
Yeah.
And whatever decisions you make, and whatever political arrangement you have in your mind, it must be something that is pro-people. And I can tell you, for me, the happenings of last year have changed many things about how I view things.
Okay.
And I can tell you, I decided.
That includes listening to the people?
Indeed.
You are given a handkerchief, and you are told you are going to raise your handkerchiefs, and you bring back that handkerchief to the person who gave it to you for you to receive the balance of your payment. Okay. That is what you're waiting for.
Let's hear from you to then I'll come to you. Prof, there's a direct accusation, so I'll give you a response. Yeah.
The people of Kenya breached parliament. These senators here and the members of parliament were running for their lives. That our speaker that we recognize is that young man who said, Mr. Speaker, sir, I am here to address you. So William Ruto is going to say things he has never seen before. Just the same way Parliament has never been breached before, it is now been breached, and we have a speaker in the name of the young man. That's the one we recognize. Nobody recognizes Wetangula or Amason Kingi. But let me say this. William Ruto has not only lost Mount Kenya, he has lost the country. The kind of public disaffection with William Ruto's performance on the economy, the issue that unites Kenyans is not even tribe. I'm even surprised. These two are still talking like the Kenyan of before, where it was always about tribes, Mount Kenya here, Luos here, who here. Kenyans don't care about those tribes. Kenyans care about a government that responds to their needs, a government that creates an economy that makes meaning to them. Professor is telling us about CG plumbers, masons being employed in Makasembo, Lumumba housing estates. What about those unemployed teachers? What about those lawyers who are unemployed? What about those doctors? What about those JSS teachers who've been on strike demanding for the recognition of their CBA? Do you want them to become plumbers? Do you want them to become masons? And yet, when they went to school and they acquired a skill, when a lawyer goes to acquire a skill, a teacher goes to school to acquire a skill, is it now the responsibility of the government to turn this lawyer, to turn this teacher, to turn this doctor to become a plumber by force? No. We need to create an economy that makes meaning to everybody, an economy that empowers somebody based on his skill set. We cannot all become plumbers in this country, for Christ's sake. So government talking about unemployment should not reduce it to create jobs for masons. We create jobs for, as David D says, people to sell chapatis at construction sites. I'm an advocate. I want to go and practice law. She's a doctor. He needs to go and treat Kenyans. And let me say this. Kenyans are not in the space where these two are. These two represent the old order of our politics, where people discussed politics based on regionalism, based on tribes. Kenyans, united, tribeless, partyless, leaderless, came out to say our key concern is the economy. How are we being governed? And that is why you've seen the numbers that came out on the 18th of June 2024 and the 25th of June 2024. Those numbers have never been convened in the history of the earth across this country. The numbers you saw in Nairobi, the numbers you saw in Eldoret, in Kericho, in Kisumu, in Mombasa, in Nyeri, in Nyahururu, those numbers were phenomenal.
But even the numbers you're seeing right now on your screen were phenomenal for President William Ruto. He's never seen this kind of reception in Nyanza region.
In comparison with the numbers that came out in Kisumu on the 25th of June. They pale in comparison. But even having said that, I was in this same region when this was happening. And I can tell you, the people were saying, we came to witness the lies of William Ruto. And we did confirm that those promises with William Ruto, yes, they're there, and you can see them carrying handkerchiefs. Those handkerchiefs, in fact, the handkerchiefs that they're carrying, this is what happened. They were being given 500 Kenya shillings with an handkerchief. And you're told, you bring back your handkerchief and you're paid 1,000 shillings. No, he knows them. He knows them. He knows the political operatives in Kisumu who are doing that. Where have you ever seen? Raila has had how many rallies in Kisumu? Professor Jenda here has had how many rallies in Kisumu? No single day do you find people go to rallies carrying handkerchiefs. But this was a particular assignment. You are given a handkerchief and you are told you are going to raise your handkerchiefs and you bring back that handkerchief to the person who gave it to you for you to receive the balance of your payment. Okay. That is what you're witnessing.
If you are now the majority in parliament, since they showed us ya kwamba you can impeach a deputy, he does not have to finish the full term. Kweli ya masikwe. Kweli ya masikwe. Hao wakisema wako majority, let me even tell you, hata those MPs of Mount Kenya ambao wamebaki na yeye, unajua they cannot go home. They are finished in Mount Kenya. They will join you to impeach this man to get new life for their siasa. Mmeshika hivyo? Mmeshika hivyo? Ama mnataka kujea another 5 years? Uchungu haijaingia vizuri? No, maybe you want to feel more pain. Unajua they say people are masochists. They want to feel pain kila saa. You want to feel pain? Haya, mimi nauliza hivi. If they do not impeach him by March, hawa wamelala. Wamelala. Na kama mnalala, the new game is now going to come. Mmeshika? And that new game itafagia watu wengi sana hapa nchini. Itakuwa kama ile ya Trump. Itakuwa kama ile ya Trump. You know, I know mnaombea baba aende AU. Even me, he's my friend. He has died with me. And I wish him the best in his personal ambitions. This is the time for true change. True change. And for those who are in parliament, nasema by March, mnashika vizuri. If by March they don't do anything, hapa mungechukua kijana maridadi wenu wa Nyia, anaitwa Willis Otieno Ochieng. Willis mama. And me, James Orengo, I can tell you, I cannot sacrifice the truth for any political gain. I'll always say the truth. I'll always say the truth. And I think I've survived in politics because of saying the truth. When I won an election, we didn't have money to run around with, but at least there was some element of fairness. Now, I'm asking my party ODM, don't lose this thing that the High Court of Kenya has said that Azimio is the majority party. Don't leave it, because instead of sitting on the table with whoever is in power, the court is giving you what belongs to you. Why are we giving up? Why is Kenya giving up? When history and everything is behind you. We don't want career politicians. We have people with convictions. This is what will bring change to Kenya. Don't go to somebody's house and you're given a good meal and then you forget that the next meal will not be the same. You know, we have got it wrong since independence. We got it wrong. And that's why even the Gen Zs who are talking about here, I believe that your cry still cannot be heard because all the time we get it all wrong. We are 2.5 years to the elections and everybody's talking about the elections. Everybody's talking about the elections because that is our mindset. But there was the only great thing that Stalin said. Stalin was a Soviet leader. He said, instead of wasting time with the voters, you spend your time with those who count the votes. They're the people who matter. So I am asking everybody, because the signs are that we are going to get it wrong again in 2027. We are getting wrong again in 2027. Kenya wanted change a long time ago. And we were told that until we had a proper constitutional basis for running our elections, we will never succeed. Because Moi won against Jaramogi, he won against Kibaki, we won against Matiba, because we had got it all wrong. We did not solve the problem of the day. And this time around, I think the country is so angry, and the elections may not matter. I am telling you, and I believe it, the country is so angry that when I hear people talking about the elections, I feel very annoyed, because we are going to get it all wrong again. Right now, the court, and in fact I have a lot of problems about the court, but yesterday, the court the High Court made a very important ruling, saying that Kenya Kwanza is not the majority party. The majority party in parliament is Azimio. What are we going to do about it? Are we going to again sit on the table and make a deal? What the court said, the High Court said yesterday, is a confirmation that the election results that were announced in the last elections were not correct. That is the confirmation. Because Raila's party and coalition could not have got the majority of seats, the majority of governors, the majority of senators, and lose the presidential election. And now, we are talking about the elections. We are talking about the elections. Even if you look at the situation we are in Kenya, we should try and fix Kenya fast. And me, I believe, Moi was more powerful, Kenyatta was more powerful, and yet they were shaken until we had to change the constitution. They were shaken! And that's why we moved transition from one party to a multi-party system.
Kusambaza hiyo message. Thank you. Fagia what? I'll take it to all the corners. You take it to the entire nation. Yes. Eh? Yes. It is a very solid car. Thank you, sir. Ndugu yangu, God bless you. Fagia wote. Kazi yangu. Asante. Ndugu yangu. Good luck, my brother. Thank you so much. Good luck. Good luck. All the best. Thank you, sir. It's time for a fresh start. Tunafagia wote. Your Excellency.
High Court imefanya ile maneno. Wamesema Kenya Kwanza haina majority kwa bunge. Na ikasema Moses Wetangula hafai kuwa speaker akiwa ni yeye bado leader wa Ford Kenya. Sasa Tuesday bunge ikiresume Tuesday, Junet Mohamed majority leader Kimani Ichung'wah enda ukachunge ng'ombe. Millie Odhiambo majority chief whip. Alafu sasa kuanzia Wednesday wapange vile Kasongo tutamuimpeach. Tuimpeach Kasongo, tuweke sasa president mwingine na nchi iendelee. Kasongo tulikwambia maneno yako wewe hadi Mungu wewe Mungu amekupangia wewe au sijioni kama utatoboa. Wacha baba kwanza anguke. Tukuja tuimpeach wewe mbafu.
I beg of us. I really want to beg of us today. As the chair of UDA, let's stay focused to what it is we promise those hustlers. Because if we don't deliver, those hustlers will send us out of power. And they'll send us with vengeance. So let us talk about roads, electricity, education, health, types. Let's tone down on the politics. It is not healthy. It is not healthy. It is the wrong time.
Kuna nchi inaweza sikia kuchukua William Ruto. Wanaweza mchukua kwa sababu sisi wananchi we don't need him. Ametuchosha ama nyinyi mjachoka? Mjachoka na Ruto? Ule mtu anataka kuchukua William Ruto, you can take him for free, take Wetangula for free, take Mudavadi for free. Tunawapea hizo takataka zote. Waende waongoze if they are good to you.
Zile vitu tunaongea sisi si wenda wazimu. Their plan is exposed. In God we trust. Na nyinyi mtajua hii nchi ni ya Mungu. Sisi tuko na God. Mko na power. Mko na those Subaru boys. Mko na guns. Na sisi tuko na God. I'm telling you, this is a David Goliath war. This is a David Goliath war. Sisi generation yetu, sisi tuko na Mungu. In God I trust. In God we trust.
Majenzi mko, kazi mnafanya kwa mtandao ni mzuri sana na tunapongeza nyinyi na muendelee. Mtaendelea. Lakini mtandao peke yake haitoshi. Tunataka mjiandikishe kama wapiga kura. Wale watu ambaye watakomboa Kenya hii, wenye kuamua Kenya itaongozwa namna gani, ni hao majenzi wetu mwaka wa 2027. Lakini hamwezi amua Kenya itakaa namna gani kwa simu peke yake. Lazima mchukue vitambulisho, lazima mjiandikishe kama wapiga kura. Siku hiyo ikifika muamuke saa 9, muungane na sisi na wengine, tuende pale kwa debe, tutafute uongozi wa maana ambaye utaheshimu wa Kenya, utaheshimu demokrasia na utakubali kufanyia kila mtu maendeleo. Tumekubaliana majenzi?
Hata nasahau tarehe ni gani. Mimi siko na tarehe kwa kalenda. Na mimi hata sina haja nayo. Mimi chenye niko na haja nayo ni serikali ya 2027. Huyu mkata ushuru tumtoe. Na tuungane si wote.
Meta vile naona nisha reject hiyo finance bill 2025. Ningoje tu date ya maandamano. Juu mambo yendi bana. Mimi hata wafanye nini? Mimi nisha reject. Mufanye nini? Nisha reject. Mufanye nisha reject. Nime reject. Mtoe date ya maandamano sasa bana.
And we are not alone. There's a new force of nature at hand, stirring all over the world. They are the young people whom, frankly, we have failed, who are angry, who are organized, who are capable of making a difference. They are a moral army. And the most important thing that we can do for them is to get the hell out of their way.
Kwanza mimi ikifika 2027 naiba mpaka kura ya madhangu na budangu. Sitaki warudi tu huko tena. Sima youth church anuka. Madha zetu bado Ruto unaenda home na 13 parliament tunaivunja. Wende home wote tuanze fresh.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm here to address you. You must go. Ruto must go. Kwapa na hatuendi. Kwapa tunalala huku na hatuendi. We don't fear you guys. You hypocrites. We don't fear you. Mr. Speaker, we don't fear you. Tuko ndani. We stomped inside. Sisi ni nani? I'm inside. Niko ndani. Na tunamalizana na nyinyi. Tunamalizana na nyinyi. Mmetutesa sana. Today is today. You must hear our cry. Sisi ni sisi. Utatusikiza. Hii ni bunge yetu. Sisi tumewafanya mkuu hapa. This is our parliament. You must hear us. Kama hamna masikio, tutawafanya msikie. Poa manze.
Sasa nini? President tunataka kuambia uko na miaka 2 katika ofisi. Na hawa wananchi hawa they will punish you na hata ukiwa na pesa watakutoa nje.
Wacheni tu mimi niseme na mapema. Ndio kama kuna list na andiko mniweke kwa list. I can't wait to reject finance bill 2025. I can't wait because I know it will be something absurd. It will be something mental. I can't wait. Mneke kwa list jameni. List reject.
Idiots who don't want to participate in the affairs of their nation, they think things will just work in and of themselves. Then they are tribalists. And these tribalists, they think that they are only safe with people who are from their tribe. And tribe can mean people from the same culture, same language, or same culture. Then they are citizens. These are individuals who are responsible and know that when you want to be served, you must give those who have the desire and the intellectual capacity to serve you. In many societies, it is only a small percentage of people that can be called citizens, not more than 5%. And if a society wants to grow in the right direction, civic education is what will help the idiot and the tribalist to become a citizen.
No one is going to tell me what to do at one time. I'm in charge. So please put that proposal on the table and then let's discuss it. And if they need a right, you can't say because there is a rule here. We work according to the rule.
Mungu yetu itoe Ruto Kenya
hata kama angalau najali. Sisi Kenya tumechoka na Ruto, maisha imetuharibikia, analipisha mpaka sodo ya wamama. Pure kabisa Ruto. We don't like you, go home. Sasa tafuta kiongozi ambaye anapenda mwananchi na anapenda kijana kama sisi.
They want to be described as honorable even when they are horrible. They acquire things which they have not worked for. They promise us things that they know they will never deliver. And there is no shortage of such men and women in the African continent.
Now, why do you want Ruto gone?
We want Ruto gone because he is killing innocent people. He's wanting to pass the Finance Bill 2024. He's putting tax on sanitary products that girls can't even buy. He can't go to school. He's corrupt. He's taking the money. He needs to go.
Yes.
Out. If you're going to raise anything, start with your hairline.
Nice.
Control, Alt, Delete, Ruto. The drunk did better than you. Drunkard did better than you.
Now the next election,
yes.
Unajua hawa ndio watakuwa nasema fagia wote ama mtasema namna gani? This generation,
yes,
they use their might because they didn't vote, the largest vote in the last election.
Hi Kenyans, mi sina maneno mingi. All I want to say is Ruto must go like yesterday. Bye.